This is from IMDb. Robert Hansson is a family man, devout Catholic. I want you to really hear this, because in the movie they mentioned he's a family man, a devout Catholic, a patriot, just everything. Robert Hansson is a family man, devout Catholic, career FBI agent, and the most damaging spy in American history. Isn't that amazing? A family man. They left out the word patriot, but they mentioned it in the movie itself, the documentary. Robert Hansson is a family man, devout Catholic, career FBI agent, and the most damaging spy in American history. Experts count Hansen's life, how he stayed hidden for over 20 years, and the events leading up to his arrest. Watch this from 60 Minutes.
Everyone who knew him at the FBI thought Robert Hansson was a quiet, unassuming computer nerd. But it turns out this FBI agent gave away more secrets than any spy in the history of the Bureau. For over 22 years, he went undetected as he worked his way up to chief of the Soviet Analytical Unit. What's more, he not only betrayed his country, he also betrayed his church and his wife in an almost unimaginable way. By all outward appearances, Hanssen was devoted to his kids and Bonnie, his wife of 33 years. They sent their children to private religious schools so they could be instilled with solid Christian values. But this was all an illusion. Bob Hanssen wasn't just a double agent. He had multiple secret lives, at the office and at home. Hanssen has told the government that indeed he gave his spy money in the early 80s, about $12,000 up to that time, to Mother Teresa, and then went on to spy some more.
With Bob Hanssen, the church dropped the ball. They fumbled it.
The church's position is that a priest cannot reveal what he learns in confidence. But Solarian thinks the church should have encouraged Hanssen to seek psychiatric help and turn himself in.
Amazing. What they does not mention in that story there, and you have to see the film itself, it's being reported that Hanssen really hated his father. And I'm sure he hated his mother too, but they don't tell you that part. It's always just the father. And his father, according to the report, was a police officer. And Hanssen, while growing up as a kid, he was always trying to impress his father. So he wanted to become a police officer, and he did. And everything his father did, Hanssen tried to do, and even better, so that he could, according to the story, be recognized by his father. But according to the story, his father never would recognize him at anything. And he went on to become an FBI, and he became, according to the story, one of the best FBIs ever. One of them. He helped set up the first computer system in the Department of FBI. And he was one of the only men, maybe amongst one or two more, who knew how to do that. So he knew everything. He knew the secrets. He knew everything. And he became an amazing FBI. But as he was climbing this ladder of quote-unquote success and becoming whatever he got into the thrill. It became a thrill for him to climb the ladder of quote-unquote success and be so good at what he was doing. It was a thrill to him. They even said this in the movie itself. And so after a while, the thrill of just being a really good FBI wasn't enough. And so he became an informant, a spy for the Soviet Union. And in doing that, because he had control of the computer system, he had such a high rank, he was able to go into almost, or if not all, most of the departments or whatever they would call, and he knew everything that was going on. And he found out who were the men who were spying for Russia in the American FBI department. And according to the story, he turned them in to the Russian, back over to the Russian thing, and Russia ended up killing them when they went back over to Russia. It was so interesting. And it got so much, he wanted so much more thrill, he started dating a prostitute, stripper, a prostitute, whatever she was, stripper, and bought her a car, took care of her, gave her American Express to buy what she wanted and pay for her car needs, everything. The thrill just wasn't enough. And apparently he took care of his wife and his children with the money he got from the spine and everything. But the thrill wasn't enough. And he finally got caught. And according to the story, he died in prison in this country at the age of 79, I think. I think it was 79, I may be wrong. But it was so interesting. In that, Hanssen, Robert Hansson, was Jeffrey Dahmer. Every human being who has not overcome anger is 2 hoops and a holler from becoming Jeffrey Dahmer. Every human being on this side of heaven, every human being's heart is evil, and they are murder, and they are 2 hoops and a holler for Jeffrey Dahmer. You may not go out and kill bodies and eat them, but your hatred of human beings and yourself is the same as killing the body and eating them, as being an FBI spy. You're no different. You might be just whatever, but you're still the same. You're as evil and as bad and wicked as Jeffrey Dahmer, Robert Hansson, and anyone who has anger. You're no different. And I have to tell you, the only thing your therapist and your psychiatrist and your whatever want is your money, your little counselor, your day coach. They just want your money. They don't care about you. They can't help you. They'll have you coming to them every day talking about the same problems over and over again and never getting you beyond that. And you're out of money, and then they offer you medication. Are you running out of money? Yes. Here's some medication then. I've done my part. And you're still in the same rut. You're not free. The therapists want your money. Especially those with degrees and things, they have no clue. They are dumb as a doorknob. They have degrees up the yang, but they cannot see their way out of a paper bag. A paper bag! Isn't that amazing? Your therapist wants your money. That's why they don't help you. First of all, they don't know how to help you because they're lost too. And thirdly, they're trying to earn a paycheck. That's why every time you go in, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever you do, they lay you on the couch and, so how you feel about your mama? How you feel about your daddy? And ask you the same thing and have you repeat it over and over for months, and you never get better. You wasting your money, and you waste your time. Your therapist just wants your money. Watch this from TikTok. A woman asked her therapist if the therapist wanted to be a friend. Watch this from TikTok.
Okay, well, first I just had a question for you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of awkward, but I was just wondering if you wanted to be friends and you wanted to hang out outside of therapy.
Well, that is such a sweet request. And to be honest, I bet if we had met outside of therapy, I bet we would have been friends. What I think that you need right now in your life is not another friend. You have friends. You need a therapist. And I love getting to be your therapist. I mean, love it.
I bet you do.
And I would never want to lose that with you since we are crushing it right now.
We are crushing it.
So, I think I'm going to stay in your therapist role. But oh my gosh, if I ever run into you somewhere, we will say hi and hug.
Okay.
I'm so excited to see you.
Okay.
To that case. Amazing, huh? Well, you have to therapy if you want to be your friend. What the? Oh, I would love to, though. I bet if I met outside, I would give you a hug and say hi. Isn't that amazing? But for now, your money is enough. Bring your purse with you every time you come, or your little credit card, whatever, or your Venmo. However they're doing that stuff now. But you know what? That therapy can't help that woman if she had to. As a matter of fact, according to Psychology Today, in a 1994 survey of psychologists, 84% reported having had psychotherapy themselves. 84% reported having had psychotherapy themselves. 84, that's everybody and their mama. And they mama. That's everybody and their mama. The psychiatrists, psychologists, psychotherapists are crazy too. They are Jeffrey Dahmer. They're crazy too. Return to the Father and you'll be free. Drop the anger. You'll be free. Go forgive your mother and forgive your father. Return to your father. It'll be over. You can be free. You can be free. Your therapist needs a therapist. Amazing, huh? If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. What a mess! And one last thing I want to show you before I go to the phones. The Pope is ticked. The Pope is ticked. I don't know why we pay, well, why my country, because not me, my country pay any attention to the Pope at all. Why does it matter what the Pope say or think? The Pope don't want us to close the borders. He doesn't want us to close the borders in our own country. Why does anyone listen to a liberal Pope at that? And why would you want to go to a tick Pope? So last night, the Pope was on 60 Minutes. And I didn't even watch the whole thing. I sat it on recorder because I couldn't watch it. I'm like, the Pope not even from the United States. Why do we care what he think? And all he does is walk around in a robe, lost. The Pope, if you didn't see it, the Pope is ticked. Watch this from Catholic World Report. In an interview with 60 Minutes, Pope Francis takes aims at conservative critics in the United States. Watch this from 60 Minutes.
There are conservative bishops in the United States that oppose your new efforts to revisit teachings and traditions. How do you address their criticism?
You used an adjective, conservative. That is, conservative is one who clings to something and does not want to see beyond that. It is a suicidal attitude. Because one thing is to take tradition into account, to consider situations from the past, but quite another is to be closed up inside a dogmatic box.
Wow. And why would we want to care what the Pope has to say? Why is that important? The Pope is lost. Remember, the Pope was slapping that woman's hand. Let me go, let me go. I don't care what the Pope, I can care two hoops in a holler what the Pope think. The Pope is lost. The Pope needs Jesus. If ever the Pope needed Jesus, he needs him now. The Catholic Church tend to help hide illegal aliens in their churches, in their homes, and everywhere. With our tax money, by the way. They're being taught to hide them. Isn't that amazing? I can care, get the Pope the finger. He's a loser. The Pope is a loser. I remember, and I am reminded that Trump once said, ISIS is coming to get you, in response to the Pope. ISIS want to get you, Trump said in response to the Pope back in August 2015, per business insiders. He was on 60 Minutes. This is from Catholic World Report. And I played you earlier where the Pope take aims at conservative, right? Critics. Apparently you don't like this conservative. In the United States, well, here is another soundbite from the Pope last night on 60 Minutes.
When you look at the world, what gives you hope?
Todo.
Everything.
Uno ve tragedias.
You see tragedies,
pero ve
but you also see so many beautiful
tantas
things.
cosas lindas. Uno ve madres heroicas.
You see heroic mothers,
Hombres heroicos.
heroic men who
hombres
have
que
hopes and
tienen
dreams,
ilusión, mujeres que miran
women who
adelante.
look to the future.
Eso a mí me da
That
mucha
gives me a lot
esperanza.
of hope.
La gente quiere vivir.
People want to live.
La gente
People
va
forge
adelante.
ahead. And people
La
are
gente
fundamentally
es
good.
fundamentalmente buena. Todos somos
We are all
fundamentalmente
fundamentally
buenos.
good.
Por ahí somos un poco
Yes, there are
pícaros,
some rogues and
pecadores,
sinners,
pero
but the
el
heart
corazón
itself
es bueno.
is good.
He's a liar. See, he ain't no good. Ain't nobody good. Not one is good. So he's a liar about that. And you don't see strong men and women forging ahead either. You see nothing but hell. Isn't that amazing? Ain't nobody good. He's lying. The Pope needs Jesus. The Pope needs Jesus. Not one is good. He said the heart is good, sir. That's the last thing that's good. The heart itself is not good. That's why you must be born again. The heart is no good. Human beings are no good. You can't find no good human beings. Your aunt ain't good. He said aunt is good. I doubt that. But the things that Joe Biden was saying to those blacks about they're not being loved by America, there's all of the buzzwords that they've been using for the last 70 years to control the blacks. It was mind-blowing to see that in 2024. They were pandering like 90 going north, desperate for the black vote, because that's all it's all about. And when they were saying that something like Americans didn't love you because you're black, they don't love you, they don't give you opportunity, all that kind of stuff. And that was it. Well, at least Joe Biden is right about that. The Democrat has proven, and that includes the black so-called leadership Democrat, they have proven for the last 70 years that they do not love the blacks. They don't care about the blacks. They just care about the votes. And now that the blacks are starting to pull away in some way and measure, they don't know how to handle that. What should we do? Let's go back to the old lies about racism and all this crap. I want to give you an example of what is called pandering like I've never seen before. This is from Rough Draft Atlanta and New York Post. Joe Biden addresses Morehouse College graduate, urging them to fight for freedom and democracy. And several Morehouse College students turned their backs on Biden. Watch this from Fox and Forbes. Fox and Forbes. Watch this.
You missed your high school graduation. You started college just as George Floyd was murdered. And there was a reckoning on race. It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? The trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure? A day earned, not given.
See, there's some blacks who turn their back on it.
On this Sunday morning, because if we're in church, perhaps it would be this reflection. It would be a reflection about resurrection and redemption. Remember, Jesus was buried on Friday, and it was Sunday. On Sunday, he rose again. But we don't talk enough about Saturday, when his disciples.
What the? Just think about that talk. It was nonsense. It made no sense. It was evil. It was a lie. And Joe Biden, a liberal white male, was able to go down to that black college and say those things to those young people who are now starting their lives out after graduating from college. And he would go down in 2024 and say those kind of things to the blacks. There was no hope in that. There was no faith in that. There was no, hey, get up and go for it now. They tell me you got to work twice as hard because you're black. That's the same stuff Maxine Waters and Jesse Jackson and all those people, the same type of lies that they use all these years. And they're still trying to make that work. In 2024. Because it has worked for them for so long, they have gained so-called power and wealth from it, they still use the same old boring lies. You don't have to work twice as hard because you're black. You work according to what you want out of life. It is horrible that Joe Biden, somebody else wrote that. It almost sounds like a black person wrote it. Because it doesn't seem like Joe Biden would have the nerve to say that out loud. Human beings are evil. There's this guy by the name of Merrick Garland, and according to BBC, 2 panels in the Republican-controlled House, U.S. House of Representatives, have backed holding Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress. Republicans had demanded the release of audio tapes from a probe of Biden's handling of classified documents. Watch this from ABC.
President Biden tonight exerting executive privilege to block the release of audio recordings of his interview with special counsel Robert Hur about the president's handling of classified documents. Tonight, the White House says the transcripts are already out. The audio is not necessary. And tonight, Attorney General Merrick Garland under fire from Republicans on this. So let's get right to Mary Bruce. Mary, the White House insisting this is all politics, suggesting they know what Republicans would do with these recordings.
The White House is accusing Republicans of seeking to manipulate the tapes for political gain after the special counsel described the president as a, quote, elderly man with a poor memory. David, as you note, the full interview transcripts are already out there, and the special counsel declined to bring charges against the president. But Biden is now using this privilege, something Donald Trump did as well, at the request of his attorney general, Merrick Garland, who is also warning that politics is at play here and cautions that releasing the audio could have lasting impacts on future investigations. But David, Republicans are not dropping this. They are now trying to hold the attorney general in contempt for refusing to turn over these tapes.
Amazing. And so I asked my producer this morning, what does that mean? He's been held in contempt. It really doesn't mean anything. Other attorney generals have been held in contempt and nothing happened. It's just a word. Republicans are not doing anything. If I want to see the Republican build the wall, bring back jobs, do real stuff instead of always in some hearing. That's all they ever do. And then they come out and talk about that like we're supposed to be happy with that. All human beings have the animal nature, and that's what we're trying to overcome. The animal nature is vicious, is evil, it's destructive, and it has no love. It's all evil. And if you notice, human beings who have not had a change of heart, return to the Father, are evil. They have the animal nature, and I got proof. This is from Fox. NBC Universal will kick off Pride Month with a new nature documentary celebrating queer animals. Queer animals. Watch this from Peacock.
The paparazzi really are everywhere.
Everything you were taught as a kid is wrong.
You make me wanna dance. Gay penguins, bisexual lions, sex-changing clownfish.
This is a queer planet.
Queerness has always existed. It's only in humans that we have such a stigma about it.
The idea of just having 2 fixed sexes is clearly out of style.
Mother Nature is pretty open-minded. Sex is not just for reproduction.
It's clear that no matter where you look on our planet, nature is full of queer surprises.
To be honest, we should all probably get laid a little more than we do.
Amazing, huh? I told you, until you return to the Father, you have an animal nature. You have no love. You don't love yourself. You don't love your children. You don't love your family members. You don't love your friends. You don't love nobody. You have an animal nature. I got the proof now. They'll now make it, allowing it to be known. Say it out loud. I'm just not people so angry people cannot be trusted. Angry people are evil, and it's just going to be a bunch of problems. They're emotional. Anybody that's emotional, an emotional person is an evil person. There's no love, no life. It's just problem because they're evil. And that's why marriages don't work and relationships don't work, because of all that emotion. And it's unfortunate is that emotion is being pushed as good in my country. Emotion is not good. I want to give you a quick example of evil emotion. And it's never good, never, ever, 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 never. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth on this. Do what you want. It's never, ever, 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 but never good to cater to a person's emotions. Man or woman emotions. Men tend not to be that way a lot. A lot are now because they have their mother's ways and they think that it's normal. But you should never, never, ever, ever, but never cater to an emotional person. And women got it bad. And they think that you're supposed to cater to their emotions. But when you do, you're catering to hell. You are catering to hell, and all you will ever get is hell. Emotions are not good. It's not good. An example of catering to emotions, the New York Post is reporting that AMC slaps Goodfellas with trigger warning for offensive content that includes cultural stereotypes. In the United States of America, can you believe that? Catering to emotions. Emotions are evil. The so-called good one and the so-called bad ones are evil. New York Post is reporting AMC Goodfellas with AMC slapped Goodfellas with trigger warnings from offensive content that includes cultural stereotype. That's ridiculous. But our country is emotional now. The females have taken over, and they push emotions. And now the good people have to pay the price too. Isn't that amazing? The crypto, just think about that. Now, you're going to tell a movie company or a movie owner, maker, creator, you can't say trigger words, whatever that means, offensive word. If a person is upset about the word, don't watch it. Just don't watch the movie, dummy. You don't have to watch the movie. These people should be able to say what they want in their movie, but you don't have to pay them to see their movie. Don't watch it. That's all to it. It's like, okay, I can't make what I want my movie to say because you're offensive. Why not stay home and don't watch it? They don't think like that anymore. They want you to cater to emotional people. Emotional people are evil. Offensive content. The crypto report on Telegram, a message read at the top of the film. This is about the film, I guess. A message read at the top of the film when screened on the network. Quote, this film includes language and cultural stereotypes that are inconsistent with today's standards of inclusion and tolerance and may offend some viewers. What a shame. What a sad, sick world we live in. the weak people are controlling. The beta, weak people are in control of the strong. You had to put all that in your movie. When I look at the world, it fills me with sorrow. Children today gonna suffer tomorrow. What a sad, sad way to live. I want to show you a nosy woman. Peeps text. A nosy woman. This is mind-blowing. But this is the kind of war we live in now, where the weak are ruling over the strong. Did you ever imagine that? It's like Black Lives Matter taking the police out and y'all say yes to it. Oh yeah, Black Lives Matter, it's racist. You can move the cops. And now we have total hood everywhere. Hood everywhere. Here's a nosy woman peep text. This is from Yahoo News, 2017. A plus-size woman. I mean, that means a fat lady. A big one. A fat woman. A big one. A plus-size model filmed the moment she confronted an American airline passengers after he fat-shamed her in a text message to his friend. He fat-shamed this fat woman in a text message to his friend. Natalie Hodge from Texas was traveling to Los Angeles for a photo shoot when she noticed the man seated next to her began loudly huffing and sighing. Like, oh God, this fat one about to sit next to me. The 30-year-old said she had paid $91 for extra leg room, but found herself in a center seat, which did not help her flying fat. Which did not help her flying anxiety. She paid $91 for an extra leg room, but found herself in a center seat, which did not help her flying anxiety, not flying fat. It didn't help her flying fat either. Watch this clip, the first soundbite of the news story from TKR official on Telegram. Watch this.
It's a confrontation on a plane between two passengers who were sitting next to each other.
You know nothing about me by the size of my body.
It happened on an American Airlines flight from Dallas to L.A. Natalie Haig, who is a plus-size model, says she immediately realized there'd be a problem with the passenger sitting next to her.
As soon as I walk on the plane, I was met with this person that was just disgusted by the fact that I existed next to him.
Natalie says as they waited for takeoff, she noticed the guy was sending out a text to a friend. Natalie decided to fight back, snapping this photo and sharing it with her 100,000 followers on Instagram. His friend writes, hopefully she didn't eat any Mexican food. To which the passenger replied, I think she ate a Mexican.
Oh, God. So that's what she get for looking at his phone and tweeting out what he said. She had no business in his business. She had no business in his business. She gonna look at his phone and tweet out what he's tweeting. What do you expect? What the? That's funny. And here's the last soundbite on that from the, this is the cell phone video from Yahoo. Watch this.
My name's Natalie. Hi, nice to meet you. I couldn't help but notice that before we took off, you were sending really horrible text messages about me to somebody.
I wasn't.
I have photos. Yes, you were. You said, they said something about, well, hope she didn't have any Mexican food. And you said, oh, she ate a Mexican. Well, if my flight doesn't take off the ground, you know why. And stuff like that. I saw the whole thing.
I apologize. I was drinking and I apologize.
Yeah, just, you have no idea who you'll hurt with those kind of things.
I apologize. You got me and I was drinking and I apologize.
So you were drinking, okay.
Wow, what a beta. He apologized. I was drinking, I apologize. I would have said, you had no business looking at my phone, bitch. What are you looking at my phone for? It ain't your business. Set your fat self down. I wouldn't apologize. She had no business. If she had looked at his phone, she would have never known. Ain't no way I would apologize. She was nosy on his phone. And he's such a beta. He white. I apologize. I was drinking. You should never say things. You have no idea who feeling you hurt. You hurt your own feeling by looking at my phone, you fat heifer. Why is he apologizing for that? According to Haight, he complained that he was pressed up against the window. I bet he did. I wonder if the anchor baby deal with this stuff on his flight. That he said he has to deal with it a lot on his flight on Fridays at 4 p.m. The anchor baby show. Amazing. Anchor baby think when she said Mexican, he ate the Mexican. He hope he didn't eat Mexican food. He may have become afraid of being called racist. Put fear in him. What a mess. Listen, number one, she had no business looking at his phone at all. He was texting. Had she not looked at his phone, she would have never known. And that's not his fault. That's not his problem. It's not his fault. It's unfortunate he apologized. He had nothing to apologize for her about. What a mess. It's time to, baby, it's time to come home, come home. And she sent it out to her followers. They recorded her confrontation with him. Wow. That would have been the last time she done something like that. Had he dealt with her, had he told her how the cow ate the cabbage, she would have never done that again. It was her fault, not his. She was nosy. What is a badger? Oh, you don't know?
It's kind of
This
like,
is Hank over here. He don't know.
it's an animal. You don't know what a badger is? It's kind of like a
So they got
it's like a
what?
Like a beaver.
It's kind of like a
Oh.
beaver.
But it's not a beaver.
Right.
It's like a beaver. So what is a badger?
Yeah, I was gonna say something like gopher or raccoon or something.
They
But
go
it's
for
crazy. They're crazier than gophers and
a badger?
yeah, badgers badger you. You ever heard of being badgered?
By people.
Yeah, because it came from this animal, I think.
Oh.
They're related to weasels, wolverines, minks, polecats, ferrets.
Oh.
Yeah.
A badger. Look like I've seen one on TV or something. I don't know if I ever saw one in Alabama growing up. I don't think I ever.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Have you ever seen one?
Not in real life. but
Over by
they're-
your house?
They're awesome and vicious. No, not by my house.
Oh. They're awful.
Awesome.
Awesome and vicious?
Yeah. So they're more in the western part of the United States. They're not in Alabama, it looks like.
Oh, thank God.
They're in Mexico, the
Oh.
whole everywhere except for the beautiful South, including, they are in Texas too.
Really? I kind of do look like I remember that I've seen when I'm on TV.
It's supposed to be drunk as a skunk and mad as a badger. Looks like the pastor combined them, says Nick, the anchor baby.
The anchor baby says, supposed to be drunk as a skunk and it's mad as a badger.
There's a badger.
Look
Whoa.
like the pastor combined them. Oh, that's a badger.
Those things are crazy, I heard.
I kind of remember seeing them before, like on TV or in a book. Yes, I've read a book. It kind of does look like a skunk or possum.
Oh, but they're tough.
Who?
Badgers.
What's their purpose?
To badger you. They're like, I don't know, they're like...
All they do is bother people?
No, they kill animals and eat them, I think. I could be wrong. That may be misinformation.
You know, it's ugly. It doesn't look ugly.
They shelter underground. Mean. They burrow under the ground.
Oh.
Some of them are solitary. Others make clans called seats.
Solitaire. It's like a rat.
They can run or gallop 16 to 19 miles an hour for a bit.
Really?
Honey badgers can climb well.
Amazing. So that man will in the Holy Spirit like a badger?
Coyotes sometimes eat them, and then sometimes they eat coyotes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that man was like a badger. American badgers can be found from the West Coast to Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. PBS. That's from Sean.
They eat earthworms, insects, grubs, and bird eggs.
Oh. Draw like a badger. That's what Hanson's saying. Okay. So much for that. Let me do this. It's Bible Thought for Thursday. And you hear all over, everywhere you go, people calling on the Lord name, the name of Jesus, they say. And they say, I'm a Christian. Lord, have mercy. They say. And I've said to the folks that just because you call on the name of the Lord doesn't mean you know the Lord. You've just been taught to call the name, but you don't really know him. And most of the time, 98% of the time, when you're calling on the name of the Lord, you're calling on Satan and calling him Lord. Isn't that amazing? And I got proof. I got the proof. Jesus said out of Matthew 7:21, Jesus said, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. That everyone that call on the name of the Lord shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. And that's another time Jesus telling you he got a Father in heaven. That's a good point too while I'm on this. And the reason I make that point because a lot of Christians believe that Jesus is God. And nowhere does Jesus say he is God. But everywhere he says his Father, my Father. And he just said right here again, Jesus said in Matthew 7:21, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. My Father, he didn't say he who does the will of me, or he who does my will in heaven. He said, my Father, dummies. He got a daddy. He got a father. And if he didn't have a father, he would just say he the father. I'm black and slow. And even I understand that. His Father's will in heaven, not his will. You've been lied to. You need to be unlearned. Some dumb preacher told you or your mama that Jesus is God. Nowhere does it say it, but everywhere it says that his Father sent him. My Father's will. It's not me that's doing the work, but my Father's doing the work. My Father and I are one. Daddy and son, right? But you can believe what you want to believe and stay in your hell and call it heaven. It's up to you. It is totally up to you. You don't have a free will. I'm almost asked every day now. I'm asked almost every day now, why you say we don't have a free will? Because you don't. And they will, if I don't have a free will, that means that I'm like a slave. Yes, you are. You're either slave to the lie, which is evil, or you're slave to the truth. It's okay to be a slave. And don't believe what the blacks have told you about slavery. Slavery is not bad. If it weren't for slavery, you would not be in America. You'd be trying to come across the border through Mexico, riding on the train through Africa, trying to get to Mexico so you can get to the United States. Amazing. 888-775-3773. So as soon as you realize you don't have a free will, Jesus has a father. He is not God. He has a father. Just because you call Lord, Lord doesn't mean that you're going to know him. You're going to be free. As soon as you realize all these things, you will be free. And I understand most people don't want to be free. Even though they say they do, they really don't want it. So just live in your hell and suffer. Just live in your hell and suffer. I have this 888, and I'm taking all calls, 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. You can be free or you can be enslaved. You're already enslaved. I have a quick question for my experts. So I need, Hake is already here. I need Joel Friday TV, he black, and the Anchor Baby for this quick expert question. And they were coming in as I'm speaking because they didn't know in advance that I was going to. But this is so interesting to me. This is Mamma Mia. Amazing. Interesting to me. All right. So I have this soundbite, and then I'm going to get to all of your calls. I have this soundbite that I need, because these guys don't know what I'm thinking about at all. I've not discussed with my experts about this at all. Zero, Mamma Mia. Hola, si, senor. Gracias. I want to play this soundbite, and then I want my experts to respond to this. On my far right, it's the American Anchor Baby. Nick, will you switch seat with Hassan for a minute? Because I want your expertise in this, especially for our network. Just for a minute. Hello. Don't cry, Hassan. Don't
Good morning.
Cry for me, Argentina. That's Nick, the Anchor Baby. Of the Anchor Baby Show, Monday through Thursday at 12 noon Pacific time, and on Fridays at 4 p.m.
Thank you.
He's an expert here. And then during Friday TV, he black, better known as Arkansas, and Swevenport, not Sweetport. And an expert here as well. During Fridays every Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and an expert. And to my far left and your far right, James, the Hake Report, an expert here, and the host of the HakeReport.com, Monday through Friday at oh what?
What are you laughing
at? Monday through Friday at at 9/11. I mean 9/11. From 9 to 11. I was laughing because I was asking a friend of mine. Yesterday I was asking a friend of mine, do you ever pay attention to being present? And he kind of laughed. He said, no. He said, no. But he said that, and then later, when I'm not paying attention too much, he said, but I'm grateful, Jesse. I'm like, what are you grateful about? What are you grateful for? Well, I'm grateful that I have my workouts. I have my wife. I'm grateful for you, Jesse Peterson. And I'm grateful for the Hake Report. Not the fake report, but the Hake Report. It was so fun, I was cracking up. Out of nowhere,
It's not supposed to be that funny.
I'm grateful for the Hake Report. Not the fake report. Anyway, it was so funny.
Why is it so funny that he's grateful for the Hake Report?
Because it was just out of nowhere. And who would think that someone walking around thinking that they were grateful for the Hake Report? Not the fake report, but the Hake Report. It was just out of nowhere.
Nice. I'm grateful for the Hake Report.
Thank you. He was like, la, la, la. But anyway, I need you guys, because of time going by so fast here, I want you to respond to this soundbite. This is from Wikipedia. Caitlyn Clark is an American professional basketball player. She played college basketball for Iowa and is regarded as one of the greatest collegiate players of all time. Y'all know about her?
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know about her?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, a little bit.
Who said a little bit? Nick. There ain't come Okay. And I want you to hear what some of the females on The View had to say about Caitlyn Clark, and I want your feedback on it.
All right.
This is from the Daily Mail. The View co-host Sunny Hostin insists that Caitlyn Clark's popularity can be credited to her race and appearance. Watch this from The View.
You know, I've been a basketball fan since I can remember. I played basketball with my dad in Harlem when I was 5 years old. So I remember loving the game, and the game not necessarily loving women back, right? At all. And so if Caitlyn Clark is the vehicle that will bring this sport that I have loved so much and so long to little 5-year-old girls playing in Harlem, I say yes, bravo. Yeah. I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so the part of it is about race, because if you think about the Brittany Griners of the world, you know, why did she have to go to play in Russia?
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay, not because she was black, but because they didn't believe in the WNBA.
This is part of my point. So now, you know, Caitlyn Clark is bringing this money these sponsorships, we hope, into the league, and other players will benefit from it. But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive, and unfortunately...
She's good.
Sean said, tall privilege in basketball. Ha ha ha. What a dumb, explicit. I can't even say it. Sean!
You going crazy?
What the?
Tall privilege in basketball. Ha ha, what a dumb bloop.
Let me start with you first, Anchor Baby. What do you say to that? What she had to say about the basketball player?
Sounds
Caitlyn.
made up. It sounds like she's lying about being this big fan or whatever, but I guess I don't really know. It's all drama. It's all just drama. I don't know the stance. I don't know Caitlyn Clark like that. I just know that she's been getting real popular. But what's the gripe here? What are you even mad about? Like, she's popular, okay. She's bringing attention to the women's thing, women's basketball. What's the gripe here? That show is just like the government. We need to find something that's wrong because it'll keep giving us business. You know what I mean? We need to just create problems.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah, and they hate white people big time.
And anything else about it so far?
No, I don't.
What do you say about that?
I think it's just
What she had to say.
They're just haters. They're just people who hate and find a reason to hate. Caitlyn Clark was the #1 scorer of the NCAA finals on
How
both
come
the men's.
everybody named Caitlyn? Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn.
It's like a nice, pretty white name.
Oh, you racist. You said white name. But go ahead.
But Caitlyn Clark was the #1 leading scorer in the NCAA championship tournament in the boys league and the girls league ever. She's just good.
She can't beat boys though.
Right, but according to the numbers in her league, and compared to the boys in the boys league,
they just made up those numbers.
No, those are real numbers.
Oh, you're right.
No, she's just that good.
But she still can't beat boys though, right? She
Right.
just
But I'm just saying, like,
in playing with
she
girls,
did beat them playing the girls, and like in girls playing with girls, she has the best
fine.
numbers.
Oh,
but
I got it.
Even with boys playing with boys, her numbers are still higher. But if she goes girls against boys, of course the boys are gonna win.
Nice.
But the point is that she's good. And they brought up Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner is only known because she got kidnapped.
That's
Or
a
not
girl that
kidnapped,
was
locked up.
She didn't get kidnapped. She went to Russia, loaded up with drugs.
That's what I meant.
That black girl that they said
Hijacked.
they allegedly was selling or had pot, trying to get over there to Russia with
Right.
Putin.
And they were like held her in jail or whatever. That's the only
Allegedly.
reason why, allegedly, that's the only reason why people like her. Not because of her skill.
Right.
So they're just haters. They're just making stuff up because they have a thing against white people and people who actually excel in life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you say about her comment, that woman, Sonny Hostin's comments, and Whoopi Goldberg.
I bet you Sonny is kind of pandering to Whoopi because Sonny Hostin is kind of pretty still. She
is?
has hair. She's light skinned.
And it's not nappy hair.
Yeah, and Whoopi Goldberg is like bald, butch almost looking now on the sides. She shaved it bald on the sides and looks
So you
awful.
think that's why?
And so
Sonny
Sonny's like, oh, there's pretty privilege. There's tall privilege. I don't know how tall she is. There's white privilege. And it is funny because she only, she loved basketball, but she says, oh, I played it with my dad when I was 5. And then she didn't say anything else that she did with basketball since then. But they hate the nature of reality. The nature of reality is if you're really good, if you look decent, then you're going to be, and you act decent, you're going to be pretty popular. But Brittany Griner is not, she doesn't look that good. And she's like tall and mannish and just messy lesbian. And
And
she's just good.
She's not even known for her skills.
She's
like
not
Caitlyn.
actually a star. They say WNBA
Right.
star. Anyway.
Nick, did you have anything else you wanted to say about that?
You guys hit it right there. I mean, I don't know much about the people here, but it's just quite obvious that they are trying to pick problems so they can talk about it. It's all drama. They hate white people.
They hate white people?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a business, too, hating white people.
A big deal. As Barack Obama said to Joe Biden, that's a big effing deal.
When they signed Obamacare, huh?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Joe Biden said that to Obama. Anything else you want to say about it?
Yeah, I was gonna play on my show a clip of Caitlyn Clark. Her team was coming out of the tunnel, and they're like clapping and cheering, and she's like not trying to play. Like they're like and they're dancing in a circle, and their team has lost 3 games in a row. Like they're losing, and the team is dancing. But Caitlyn Clark is like, I'm not trying to dance. Like we suck right now.
What are we dancing for?
Yeah, what are we dancing for? And it's all the colored girls like doing the Dougie and stuff like that. I was and I know I'm not saying I'm for the WNBA becoming what it is, but I just respect people who put the work in, regardless.
Right.
So I respect.
What'd you say?
That. You said what?
You say what now?
I respect people that put the work in.
And did you say who regardless?
Regardless.
Oh, I thought you said irregardless.
No.
That's the other host.
Right. Yeah, that's the other hoe.
So.
I'm just going to add that in there.
I think
Give me
that
some letters.
Host. I said that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think that
I just adding in some letters.
But you made it made
Oh,
it sound
I thought that Anchor Baby was saying
Yeah.
like short for stupid.
No. I was adding ST.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't
I'm
do
a little
nothing.
slow. I just
That's
assumed
what
the
I
worst.
said.
Yeah, he said host. That's what he said. It was unnecessary. what I did.
Right.
I assumed the worst of Jesse and Nick.
But go ahead, Joe.
well, now I forgot about where I was at.
About how they're losing and
Oh,
they
yeah.
want to tap dance.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she didn't want to play.
And these ladies are just. I think anybody. It should just be an indicator as like, they're of course they're gonna hate what's. As a matter of fact, this should be an indicator for people to know that okay, maybe Caitlyn Clark is doing something right if these people are hating on her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's haters.
And you say?
Women's basketball is not popular. And so it
And they
doesn't
try
make money.
hard to make it
They're like,
popular.
oh, nobody believed in Brittany Griner, therefore they didn't pay her enough, so she had to travel to Russia to play basketball to make more money. But because the WNBA is subsidized to the tune of like what, $10 million or $10 billion from the NBA, the men's
Right.
basketball.
Really?
The men's basketball makes so much more money because they're so much more athletic and capable.
And they giving
and
it to the
dazzling.
women?
And they're just affirmative actioning the women, and the women are still miserable, still unhappy. And now that Caitlyn Clark is bringing, like, I'm a WNBA fan now because of Caitlyn Clark because she's an actual star. Well, I shouldn't have said that.
Let's go.
No, but I get
I'm
what
just
your-
kidding.
but your point is
and now
valid,
she's actually going to make the WNBA money because people are actually
Exactly.
going to watch it, and they're now still mad.
Well,
They're
to
never
say-
happy.
Add to what James is saying is that the tickets for a WNBA game for her team were $17 to get in. So you can it's more. It costs more to go to the movies. But because of Caitlyn Clark, the tickets first game were $150. The cheapest tickets were $150.
Really?
So people are going to watch her because she's just really good.
I can't.
She's not that good though. She made a lot of turnovers.
Well, I mean, like, but
and
but
the
like,
media
she's a
doesn't
star.
even tell the whole truth about it. They're like, oh, she scored 20 points and committed 20 turnovers.
What's a turnover?
A turnover is when you lose the ball and the other team gets it.
Oh.
She lost the ball. But
Well,
they didn't.
but it's her first time in the
Nice.
WNBA.
Yeah. No.
I can't see myself being that interested in women basketball.
Oh, you haven't seen
It
Caitlyn
doesn't
Clark.
make sense. I remember though, when I was in high school.
We sound like simps.
I remember in high school, I ran track and played a little basketball, but track and field was my thing. My aunt, who was almost my age, but a little older than me, she would be in like the 11th grade when I was in the 9th grade or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And she used to play basketball.
You used to call her aunt too, or that has to be
I
weird?
just call it Basur. I call it Basur. But and she used to drive the school bus sometimes. Even though she said she doesn't remember driving the school bus.
Drive the school bus.
Basur.
Yeah. Yeah, Basur did. But she used to play basketball, and for the women basketball thing, she was real good. They loved her on that team. They would travel to different places. But when the guys would be watching the women play basketball, it was all about sex.
Oh, really?
And it's not very
It was
attractive.
not like we were that interested in women playing basketball.
Oh, interesting.
But it was fun seeing them run up and down the court in their
Or
little
do
shorts.
thing, yeah.
And see the cheerleaders jump around their little skirts.
Yeah.
But women basketball was never taken seriously.
Yeah. It still really isn't. But yeah, like James is saying, it's because of Caitlyn Clark that it's becoming more of like entertaining to watch, because she is really good. And we talked about back then, you know, her dad put her in the sports when she was younger with the boys.
Yeah, because there was no girls basketball, so she had to play with the boys.
Where he living in Africa somewhere?
Indiana or somewhere. I don't know.
They have no boys in Indiana?
No
No,
girls.
I mean, no girls in Indiana?
No girls sports.
Oh, I see.
It's like a small town, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really?
She was.
But
yeah.
what's funny is she's not even that pretty. She's like
Right,
mildly
exactly.
attractive. A little bit. This Caitlyn Clark gal.
Does she have to be pretty to play basketball?
No, but they're
You have to be
pretending
pretty
like
for
it. Oh, she got
Pretty
it 'cause
girls
she's
don't
pretty.
play basketball.
Right.
But
I
that's
know.
what-
They're getting a little bit more prettier though,
Case in point.
because they know that they need to start
You know
making
what?
money.
Case in point for Hake. That
They're-
basketball, that pretty girls don't play basketball.
Right.
Right. Here's what anybody else has anything to say about it?
If she was black and very good and still mildly attractive, she would be getting the views too. Because I grew up liking Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. I didn't really like Larry Bird because I thought he was kind of ugly.
Right.
What?
As a kid, I'm like, he's not. He's
One
kind
guy
of fat
watching a guy
looking.
play basketball. It's about all like call you ugly. What?
Well, I'm not. I was a kid, and so I wanted to be like a Michael Knight, like the Knight Rider guy. You ever seen Knight Rider? Okay, nobody's seen Knight Rider.
He lost us there.
Yeah.
Like the Fonz, he was like tough and cool looking.
Who?
The Fonz.
Where's the funds now?
He's still kicking.
Oh,
He's
he
not
is?
so tough and cool looking anymore.
Oh.
But you know, somebody who just looks cool, and is very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you have to know that this is pure hate, because even as a child too, for me, is that like I would watch movies and stuff like that, and obviously the great movies had the white actors or whatever. I never looked at him as like, oh, that's a great white actor.
Right.
It was like I like the
You're
movie.
right.
Yeah, you weren't thinking about
That's
all that.
deep.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
it's a mess.
Isn't that woman, that female, Sunny Hostin? Austin. Is she black? She look black
Yes.
and mixed with some white.
And Puerto
Which
Rican.
one?
What?
She's Puerto Rican, black, probably mixed black, because maybe light skinned black. I don't know. And then also a little bit Sephardic Jew. On her mother's Sephardic Jewish. That's the dark skinned Jewish.
Oh, from Allah Wabato?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's where the Sephardic Jew come from?
No, there's a bunch of Sephardic Jews in Israel. Like they've come to church and stuff. Like Moses. Remember Moses? He came to church. He's
Oh, that's a Sephardic Jew.
Jewish. Yeah, I think so.
There's so many different kind of Jews. All I grew up knowing was just Jews.
Right.
I thought they were all just the same.
Well, since working on your show, I've learned about all these other ones.
I know, me too.
The Ashkenazis and the Sephardics.
I see some walking down by my office, and they're blacker than me.
Whoa.
But they're not Negroes.
Okay.
They're like
They're
Sephardic.
Ethiopian Jews or something?
No. They're from Allah Abba place.
Oh.
Or somewhere like
Jews.
Russia.
How do you know that they're Jews though? Because they have the hat.
Well, they have the hat
Oh,
or
yeah.
those string things.
Oh yeah.
And they're real dark. Some of them.
Yeah.
The real black Jews.
So this woman, Sunny, is a... That's right.
I just saw her as Latino.
But Joel is right. People just appreciate excellence in their fellow human beings.
Yeah. Where is that?
Does
Doesn't
anybody
matter
know
the
anything
race.
about Angel Reese? Is she good? That Angel Reese girl.
Yeah, there's other like prettier basketball players who just aren't as good.
Angel Reese though is the black girl from
Is she
LSU,
good?
right?
Who is Angel Reese?
She's good, but she even plays like with a bad attitude to me.
Right, I was realizing that.
Yeah, she's black.
I was realizing that what you're saying is true.
Yeah,
they like the decency is making a. I think it's gonna make a comeback a bit. Like that, like the student who did well in the school and was good at the sports.
That's gonna make a comeback.
Yeah.
Not while you living.
Maybe not.
They ain't coming back. What y'all want to say?
Like just in a trend, not like for real.
Oh.
Right.
You know,
oh dear.
Sonny doesn't.
Who said oh dear?
I did.
But go ahead. That's Sean.
The light skinned white.
My producer. The light skinned white.
Sonny doesn't realize how brainwashed she's been, because this is what they call intersectionality, where you look at people in groups and you just label people as. She looks at Caitlyn Clark and she thinks that's a tall, pretty, white female. So in her mind, she's labeling her in all these groups. You know, she doesn't realize what she's doing. The last thing she's going to do is look at her as just an individual, as Caitlyn.
Right.
You know, and not look at all these physical features.
That's a good point.
But the people who, you know, the people at the top, the politicians, media, who encourage people to look at people in groups, this is the result of it.
Yeah.
This is the confusion that results from all that. Is you look at people as skinny or fat or white or black, and
that's true. Only for the purpose of hating.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She doesn't realize how manipulated she's been in order to divide people. She thinks she's different than Caitlyn Clark because of physical features. And it's
even
so
though
silly.
she looked white.
Yeah.
And she's Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these hags are too old for that.
Better than that.
These hags are too old for that. I think they know better. This is racial grievances for
I gotta ask you
money
something.
and media stuff.
Okay. So here's what came to my mind because of time here. When I saw this thing with Sonny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg, my first thing was, the very first thing that came to my mind is that this woman and Whoopi Goldberg is saying out loud what all the blacks say, for the most part, not all but most, that black people are not capable of working hard and doing it for themselves. And they have to they always expect whites to lower the standard so you can bring them and look like they're coming up to the standard when they really are not coming up to the standard. It's just that white people lowered the standard because blacks are saying it out loud, like Whoopi and Sonny Hostin said, the blacks can't do it.
Yeah.
They always have excuses for the blacks when white people excel in life, when white people create a perfect society, the blacks can't do it. They'll say it out loud, the blacks are not capable.
And it looks like they would feel
Even
crazy.
Joe Biden said it to him at the speech down in...
Right. You got to work twice as hard.
Right.
And it looks like they would feel silly letting it come out their mouth to say that I need the standard, this not fair, I need the standards lower.
They're
for
saying
me.
it about everything. They're
Right.
saying it about letting the blacks into white universities. They said about letting the blacks be into traffic control.
Right.
Now we're about to have an accident every day. And now the door's falling off.
That's not funny.
You were supposed to laugh that hard.
That's way too hard.
The door is falling off. That's a new one.
They did.
Did
You
they
see
really?
that? Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Doors
I
are
see
falling
that.
off planes, man.
The door, and every day they almost have an accident. They have to have an emergency landing, and then blacks at the air traffic control. They're like, "Oh, baby, I ain't mean it. I meant to come in on the west side."
Oh, baby.
Black excellence.
Wow.
So,
I didn't hear about
Sean, am I wrong? Whoopi Goldberg and this woman are saying what the blacks say all the time. They are not capable. You got to, now they want to lower this basketball standard with this woman so it look like a black can play better.
Right.
What do you say, Sean?
I mean, this is what you say all the time. When you love people, you let them suffer. When you try to help them, you know, when you try to ease their suffering, it's hatred.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what people
But do
think.
y'all hear out loud, or is it just me, that the blacks are saying that they are not capable? Everything they do that white people are doing, they have to say lower these standards.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad though. Oh, go
Do
ahead.
y'all
finish
hear
your
the
point.
same thing?
I do.
It's just me.
Yeah, big time. I had them call me. I had some people call me on my show, and even kind of reveal this anger that you talk about. It's anger, really, but they have this in their minds about white people or whatever, and you know what I'm saying? Like they could be conservative, they could be Trump supporters, but if they still got this identity thing, if you challenge it, we're still black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't. It's still racism. It's still,
Yeah. Yes. You say, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, I mean, I
try to be all that I can be. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think it's kind of sad that that the young black girls who grow up wanting to do anything, whether play basketball or whatever, is that instead of realizing that it's their behavior and the way that they act and do things is the problem, that so they can work on that and fix it, they're taught to say, you're just not good enough, or you have to work twice as hard, or they're just not going to give you a fair chance in life. So instead of working on their attitude, they're just thinking that, oh, it's just because they're picking on me.
The blacks believe that white people are God.
Yeah.
They believe that they are actually God.
Right.
Because they always compare themselves to the whites. They always say, lower these standards, let us in. Even when the white people already lowered every standard.
Right.
They can't get any lower. They still say, okay, this woman playing basketball a little better than us.
Yeah.
Lower that standard. It's because she's pretty.
Yeah.
It's because she's white. Lower that standard. Am I wrong?
No, and what they don't realize is they pretend like the media is against them and portrays them in negative ways. Like but the media caters to them and always bends over backwards to be too nice to them, to the blacks.
It's because the media agree with the blacks.
Same thing with the companies.
The media agree with the blacks that they are not capable of doing it.
Yeah.
They don't believe the black can do it either.
Right.
They literally, nobody believes that black people are capable.
Same thing with these
Even
corporations.
the blacks don't believe it.
Nike and all of them.
Yeah.
They'd give special treatment to that Colin Kaepernick guy and gave him like a whole deal, not because he was good at football or whatever he played, but because he kneeled for the anthem.
They tell the black you can steal at CVS. You ain't got to pay for it. You ain't got the money.
Yeah.
Even though they got the money, they got welfare checks, they got everything. You can steal, and the black go steal. They lowered the standard, Sean, so the black can steal at CVS.
Oh dear.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. That was a mess. And it seems like the greatest setup, and the last thing I'll say about this specific thing is that the greatest setup seems as if, like, don't work on your attitude, don't work on your behavior, point the finger and say that they're the reason why you're not getting a fair shot. Instead of like, and I don't know if do you think that they know, the black people know that they're bad, their attitude is bad, and all these things, but they purposely point the finger because it gets them stuff.
It gets them stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have to work on themselves at all.
Yeah. But it also gets them killed because the same attitude that you just described, Joel, is the thing that they're doing with these blacks who get themselves killed by police.
And they blame the police.
Yeah, they blame the police, and it's like we need police accountability
for anything.
Yeah.
Here's what I want. I have more proof that they tell the black, y'all just not capable. This is from, and they always making excuses for the blacks. Breaking 911. Professional counselors said that Bidenomics to blame for CBS brawl in St. Louis. A lot of people are under such stress. A lot of people are under such stress and anxiety right now. They're not, they're at their breaking point. Watch this from X.
We have a break here. The song's about to start right here.
Really?
Can I do it?
Oh God!
That flew by.
How long is this?
It's
49 seconds.
It would have been played by now.
Nope, it wouldn't have. Music's gone now.
I don't hear the music. I heard you.
Come on, Sam, do your thing.
I heard you talking for all that long time.
It's telling me it's supposed to play. Come on.
What?
Oh.
Amazing. And so I want to play this one soundbite to prove my point, at least hear what the experts have to say about it. And then we are back to the phones and all that good stuff. And they always make excuses for the blacks, no matter how bad they are. The blacks and the whites are making excuses for the blacks. Well, not all the whites. This is from Breaking 911. Professional, with a quote sign. Counselors say Bidenomics to blame for CVS brawl in St. Louis. A lot of people are under so much stress and anxiety right now. They're at their breaking point. Watch this from X.
Friday night, he went to get some medication, and when he went to go check out, he saw a worker and at least two others throwing hands.
She had ran out and was like, I got something for you, I'll be right back. You know when you hear that in St. Louis, come on, so I can go.
Florissant police responded and told First Alert 4 officers arrested 3 people.
I hope they make better choices in the future.
A lot of people are under so much stress and anxiety right now that they are at the point where they're at their breaking point.
Lena Chapman is a licensed professional counselor and says because of this, more and more fights are likely. She recommends being careful what we consume by censoring what we watch. She says even watching videos like this impacts how we react.
Wow. So she's saying, according to the story, going to get worse. So the blacks are going to get worse because they are under stress by Bidenomic. You say, Joel?
I think that the big...
These are about my experts, by the way.
I think that the big problem is that the world tends to think that blacks need help, right? In the sense of that, like, they just don't understand. But I think that they don't want to, because it benefits them to be angry. It benefits them to point the finger. Like, they enjoy those things. It benefits them to get government assistance. It benefits them in that way. So it's not that they don't want, that they can't, and the white people need to come and save the day, which the world thinks, is that
but
they don't want.
But the blacks think that too.
Right, but
they need the white people.
But I think that what I'm saying is that I think that people don't realize that they don't want it. They don't want to.
Don't want to what?
They don't want to be saved. Like, they want to be angry.
Oh.
They want to be mad. They want to point the finger. They want government assistance. They want these things, and that's why it's not getting better. But there's the blind people keep coming in trying to save the day, but they don't want the day to be saved. And it ends up affecting the white people more, because they think that they're helping, but it's really like egg back in their face.
Do you think that the whites truly believe they're helping? How's that helping? When they only get to work, and that black woman just said they're going to get, according to the report, they're going to get worse.
Well, I think that the whites truly believe in their minds, and it's a delusion that they need to be nicer or care a little bit more to the blacks, and that's the problem. Like, they've almost believed into the lie as well, that it's because of us, type of thing.
What do you say, Hank? Interesting point.
Kind of like what Joel was saying, they're being enabled and encouraged, and what you said, they're enabled and encouraged to steal, to be violent, to riot, to complain, to act out crazy, because people feel sorry for them in their anger, and they cater to their anger. Whereas if a white's angry, that you get on a government list, or you go to jail or whatever. or you get accused of racism. But them, they can be as angry and act out crazy as they want, and people are used to it, for one. And so people just like, oh, well, that's blacks. And then for two, there's a whole lot of people pandering and catering to them.
Okay.
And like that black female counselor woman. Oh, you could tell by the tone of her voice that she was just catering to the anger.
Yeah.
People are stressed right now. Don't watch these videos. It's bad for you. I don't like watching the videos either, because it's like, after a while, it's like, okay, there's been all too many cases of this.
I don't like why I'm sick of seeing black people acting out.
Yeah.
Instead of just being normal.
Right.
Yep.
We're the normal blacks. And Nick, you say?
Nobody loves black people.
Well, you might.
So what?
Nobody loves black people. Nobody loves them.
Meaning what?
Like, they're not showing them love, even though they're pretending. They tell them, oh, we're going to help you and all that, like Joel said. It's really not. You know, it speaks a little bit to love. It definitely isn't what I was told growing up. All this feeling stuff, feeling bad, only leads to worse things, clearly. But about that, would you say, like you were saying earlier, Jesse, you were saying that they can't rise up to the level of the whites?
Right.
That the blacks themselves believe it, the whites say it,
Yeah.
Would you say that's effectively true?
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you say it's just like, I personally, if you ask me, I don't really know or believe about all these things they say about IQ, and I don't know, like, I think it's quite clear how
Who is
the
IQ?
retarding effect of anger.
Who is IQ?
Who's IQ?
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Oh, I thought he said Ice Cube.
No.
I preface it like that because
IQ.
Oh, IQ.
IQ. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They say
IQ.
there's all these
IQ.
reasons why they can't rise up to the level, and I don't know about all that, but you're saying that it's effectively true. So, like, what the heck?
I mean, it's apparent that it's true.
Yeah.
It's not like my imagination or I'm making it up.
Mm-hmm.
The blacks, Sonny Liston, what's her name?
Sonny Hostin?
Yeah.
That's like an older
Different person.
Sonny Liston is like a older person, isn't it?
I think so.
Sonny Liston is like a. I recognize
Yeah,
that.
Sonny
boxer.
Liston is a
Back
black
in the
guy.
day. Yeah. There you go.
Not Sonny Liston, but Sonny,
The Big Bear.
Yeah.
Sonny Austin.
Yeah.
And Whoopi Goldberg was literally saying that this white woman talent is because she's pretty, she's people,
Right.
whatever they were saying. Even though she's clearly earning her way, working hard,
Right.
and daddy let her play with the boys growing up.
Exactly.
But they want them to lower that. Don't let that female
Yeah.
up there.
She too
That's what I
pretty
mean by
or
no-
whatever.
So what?
I got the little delay in this. Sorry. That's what I mean by no love too. So I'm saying I think it's maybe no love. It's not showing love to the blacks, like
But the
trying,
blacks are not
helping
even
them, trying to help them and bring them up to that level and expecting them to get up to that level and all that.
But the blacks are not even trying to help themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I
because
mean.
they
Yeah.
believe that everything is based on what the white people can do for them.
Yeah. Right. And that's the thing. And to make Nick's point too is that like, but then white people also got to know that love also means don't deal with it. Like let them suffer and don't give them that stuff. Like if they
Yeah.
can't make it into the airplane place,
Yeah.
they ain't getting in.
And maybe make their own.
Right.
Or I don't know. Maybe if America was a more loving place, the blacks would have their own area, and maybe the Mexicans. We could talk about it, but nobody else.
So I got to ask this then. I got it in.
Okay.
Are the black cursed? Hake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think about that. I don't know if they're cursed. I think that they just
Are they blessed?
I think that there's some that like, and oftentimes we're seeing in big numbers that they enjoy their destruction. So, but I don't know if that's a I don't know. I have to think
Are they
about it.
blessed?
They can be. I have to think about it.
I didn't ask they can be.
I mean, God blesses all people, right?
Are they blessed?
I have to think about it.
Are the blacks cursed?
They're blessed.
There you go.
What?
They're blessed.
Blessed and cursed.
What's that mean?
It's a millennial word.
No, they're cursed.
They're cursed. And why do you say they're cursed?
because they're angry. They have hell inside.
Yeah, I can see that.
And everything else around them.
Yeah, I can see that.
You see what?
No, I can see that because when you think of cursed, I'm thinking back like Adam and Eve cursed to where God was like, no, you're living straight from the ego only. So I can understand in that way, yes.
Are the blacks cursed or blessed?
I don't know why I can't say it out of my mouth that they're cursed.
No.
I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I have to think about it more.
Are they blessed?
I do think that all people are blessed.
We talk about the blacks.
I think black people are blessed, but they're also a
Are
mess.
they blessed? What?
They're a blessed mess. A blessed mess.
How they blessed?
I think he means spoiled.
That for sure.
How they blessed?
I don't know. I mean, they're blessed that they're getting away with all this mess. So.
How is that a blessing?
They better count their blessings because they should all be.
But how is that a blessing?
I think he means spoiled.
Who said that?
Whoa, my bad.
Who said that?
Like,
that was me over again because I said I think he means spoiled, and so Nick played.
Oh,
he was playing like the show.
Oh,
and it came out.
It's hard for me not to say that anyone is not blessed. That's what I'm saying.
Why not?
Because
God said it.
No.
Are you blessed or you cursed? Here are your blessings, and here are the curses. Read Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah, this reminds me of a passage.
He said, your children will be cursed. Your land will be cursed.
Yeah.
You'll be cursed going in and coming out.
Yeah. I can see
And
what
it's
you
not
mean,
just
though.
the Old
You're
Testament.
Right.
It's in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Jesus said, to him who has, more will be given.
Yes.
But from him who doesn't have, even what he has, or even what he thinks he has, is going to be taken away from him.
Are the blacks cursed or blessed?
I can't say that they're cursed because the curse means that, like, because didn't Jesus come back to break the curse? So it's like they are like.
Are the blacks cursed or blessed?
I don't think that they're cursed. No.
Are they blessed?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that they're cursed, though. I say
Why
no,
not?
they're
What
cursed.
is about them that's blessed?
Well, they are, but I mean, they still, like when I think of God, God gives grace to all people. So they have the opportunity.
That girl you today.
Not that
You
grace.
crossed the line.
Oh.
Too far.
It's too late now. It's not out there.
Oh, he said God give grace to her all of them.
It would have just been glossed over, but you stunned him so bad that he just laughed so hard that it called attention to it.
Backing it up.
But I think that all people are blessed. So I can't. To me, it's
What
like
is it about them that's blessed?
because curse means that
It's
you
having to
can't break.
lower the standard of blessing.
Everything they touch goes wrong. No.
Right. You're right, Nick.
That's a curse.
But
Is that a blessing or a curse?
It's not good.
Is it a curse or a blessing?
I don't see it as. I just don't see it as a curse. I don't see it.
Is
as
it a
curse.
blessing?
Well, it's not a blessing, but I don't see
It
it.
got
as
to
a
be
curse.
one or the other.
No, but I think that all people are blessed.
How? Fighting at
Because-
it's fighting at CVS over the white people food or whatever. Is that a blessing or a cursing? Curse.
White people. Maybe it's a blessing to the white people because then they realize they gotta stop.
God's not gonna get mad at you. You still know you love him inside. You can say they're cursed.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it as cursed. I'm trying to. I want to
but
say
God
it so
cut-
bad. Trust
God
me.
said they're cursed.
But I want to say it so bad, but I can't say it.
Why not?
Maybe I'm not
If
understanding.
you love them, you would tell them the truth.
Well, maybe I'm just not seeing what you're seeing. I have to think about it. You could be right, and I just am missing it. So.
Sean said, my producer, we're all in a fallen state. We're all cursed with anger. Amazing. What a mess. What a mess. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days when the lines between right and wrong wasn't so hazy. They're gone now. No use in praying for those lions anymore. They're gone. Some of you might, well, I can't imagine there's one person, but maybe one, maybe two, who did not see or hear about the Great White Hope, Donald Trump rally in the South Bronx there in New York yesterday. And I thought it was a very cool idea, the right idea for Donald Trump to go into the black people community, so-called minority communities now they call it. And because I remember when George Bush ran for president, and I believe he was running against Bill Clinton. And the one thing I remember is that Bill Clinton, the Democrat, would go into the black churches and to the black people and talk to the black people. Even though he was lying to them, he was pretending to sound like them and talk about Jesus, because that's all it takes. And they would vote for the Democrats. And I would say out loud and try to send a message to Bush is that he needed to go into the black communities as well, and deal with their anger, deal with their questions, deal with them so they can see and maybe understand a little bit about what the Republicans were supposed to be about. What they were supposed to be about. Go to them and talk to them. They just didn't have any understanding, for the most part, about the Republican Party because no Republicans were going into their communities and talking to them. And I heard that Ronald Reagan went into the black community there in New York, I believe. Yeah, New York. And as a result, he won. And so not until Ronald Reagan, any other Republican that I'm aware of, have gone into the black community until Donald Trump, the Great White Hope. And it was an amazing turnout, lots of excitement, and people were glad to see him. Blacks and Mexicans and whites and Puerto Ricans and everything were there. It was, and the Democrats in New York had a hissy fit in the media about it. They did not want the Great White Hope to go into the community and talk to the people, because they've been going into these places lying to the blacks and others for years and getting away with it. Year after year after year, and I don't feel no way tired. And whenever they go into the black community, the Democrat, they always sound like preachers. They make the same voice and sound like a preacher and get the people wired up. And then they vote for them. Well, lo and behold, the Great White Hope went into the South Bronx. According to CBS, former President Donald Trump held a major campaign rally. You notice how they try to keep Donald Trump in New York by keeping him with this fake trial going on? And so he's taking the lemonades and taking the lemons and making lemonade. He's doing what he got to do even there. Okay, y'all want to lock me down here? I'll stay here. But I'm still I got my work to do. And you're getting all this free PR stuff without even trying. He is making the best out of the situation. You really do what you want. I recommend you pay attention to the Great White Hope, that you keep a space between you and the Great White Hope so you can observe and be encouraged and inspired by him. Again, I don't know how all this stuff's going to end. I have to wait and see, like I do with all things. But it is inspiring to see Donald Trump in operation. The wind and sea obey him. What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obey him. Isn't that amazing? The wind and sea obey him. But anyway, CBS, former President Donald Trump held a major campaign rally Thursday in the South Bronx, his first in New York City since 2016. Watch this compilation.
New York will never, ever support Donald Trump for president.
Where are you from?
The Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
He's doing it in the South Bronx not to make a point, but because he's got court. And the man practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs because he always has to be in court. And so it is truly an embarrassment to him.
Superstar now is over. He's a superstar. There's a lot of people coming out in support of him. And once again, like people that weren't interested in politics, now they're watching a sham trial. They're watching all these things happen, and they're just like, what is going on? You know, they're hearing more about Trump than maybe, I think, in my opinion, they overplayed their hand by going after the former president of the United States.
Are you happy that he's coming here?
That's a good step for him. That's a good step for him. Yeah, him coming here is going to bring light to the hood. Him coming here is going to show that at least he's trying.
How will he be received here?
Open arms.
Really?
Open arms. Everybody going to show him love. You come show love, they're going to show you love right back.
Should Joe Biden come?
Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe got to wake up if he want to come.
Amazing. The Democrats are having a hiss of it. That woman, Cortez, yeah, they tried to put ankle braces on him so he doesn't function. We know what y'all trying to do, and she's admitted that's what they're trying to do. It ain't working. It ain't working. Isn't that amazing? What manner of man is this, the wind that sea obey him? That Kathy Hogan woman in the very first time, oh, they're not going to vote for him. And she looked out of her window there at her office and was stunned to see the crowd. And she was like, what the? What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obey him. Pay attention, folks. And the people are paying attention. Donald Trump gets so much cover, it's not even funny. And why is this happening? Because the devil and his children are trying to stop him. And all he's doing is running for president. They can disagree. And Donald Trump really doesn't have to run for president at all. Just think about this. Donald Trump can be at home, playing golf, traveling to all his golf courses around the world. He could just be doing what he wants to do, and he decided to go through all this hell, lose money and time, and all type of talk about him, trying to embarrass he and his family. He don't have to run, but he loved America. He loved America enough to do it. In spite of all the lawsuit and the money he's losing, he still decided, You know what? I love my country. No greater love than that. What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obey him. If what you're looking for is peace and love and joy, he is the one. He's the one. Real Donald Trump posted on Truth Social. I was thrilled to be back in the city I grew up in, the city I spent my life in, the city I helped build, and the city we all love. Thank you, he said. Amazing. He doesn't have to be doing this at all. He could have just, the first time he ran and he won, and when that tide ran out, even then he could have just said, you know what, I've done my part, I'm done. I'm going back to my life, build some more apartment buildings and condos and skyscrapers and Mar-a-Lagos and whatever. I'm done. But he didn't. Amazing. Some of you might remember the L word is not lesbian. This is from NPR. When Donald Trump has a beef with someone, it's almost inevitable he will call that person a loser or a stone cold loser. I want you to watch this female reaction to Donald Trump using the word loser or stone cold loser. Watch this from CNN.
It's a word Donald Trump isn't usually at a loss for.
We have losers. We have losers.
Sometimes the loser is generic, but usually the loser has a name.
Well, Rosie's a loser. She's always been a loser.
Trump is always tweeting the L word. His targets range from websites. The Huffington Post is such a loser to pundits.
You know, when I watch a George Will or a Charles Krauthammer, I watch them for years. They're losers. They're just losers.
He even called a Miss USA contestant a disgruntled loser after she called his beauty contest rigged.
She suffers from a thing called loser's remorse. She lost.
He's called fellow Republican Karl Rove a loser, a proven loser, and a total loser.
And Cher is somewhat of a loser. She's lonely. She's unhappy.
When he's feeling happy, he tweets to everyone, including all haters and losers, Happy New Year. When asked about his name calling,
using terms like dummy, loser, total losers, is that something you would continue doing if you were president?
Oh, I don't think. Look, when people attack me, I let them have it back.
One thing about the Great White Hope, he is not politically correct. He's not. And the people love that about him. They see a real person speaking from the heart, speaking from the chest. And people love realness. They love it. They love real. Look at poor Biden. Don't blame Joe Biden. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Poor Joe Biden just struggling along. And his family don't love him enough to even make him sit down, encourage him, convince him, hey, Joe, you're not looking too good, buddy. What's wrong with you? They don't care. His family, I told you once, and I've told you twice, and I told you 1,000 times that human beings are evil and there's no love. Human beings don't love one another. And if anyone tell you they do, they're lying to you. Human beings do not love one another. Donald Trump is from the old school, so he speak the old school way. Simple and to the point. And people recognize that. They love it. Here's an update on a very important story. Because I forgot about this female and about all that mess. Tell us about the story, where it come from and what it is.
Okay, so you know how Trump is supposedly a criminal and facing all these court stuff?
Yeah.
Well, there's a real criminal whom the blacks and the Democrats are celebrating, Marilyn Mosby. Marilyn Mosby of Baltimore, Maryland. According to CBS, she will not serve prison time for perjury and mortgage fraud. Perjury is when you lie in court.
All right.
And mortgage fraud.
And she black?
Yeah, she's black.
No
sort of
wonder.
light skin. Former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby sentenced to 12 months of home confinement. Some of you guys may remember her, and you may remember her once you see this clip, 241C. She was the No Justice, No Peace activist prosecutor who prosecuted the Freddie Gray cops, black and white. This was amid the Black Lives Matter riots of 2015 in Baltimore. Lasted like more than 2 weeks.
Right.
And then toward the end of that, she said, "Oh, we're pressing charges." And now I heard your calls of no justice, no peace. So this is a flashback from 2015.
Watch this.
The findings of our comprehensive,
her.
thorough, and independent investigation, coupled with the medical examiner's determination that Mr. Gray's death was a homicide, which we received today, has led us to believe that we have probable cause to file criminal charges. To the people of Baltimore and the demonstrators across America, I heard your call for no justice, no peace. Your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of this young man.
What a mess.
Freddie Gray was
a mess.
Freddie Gray was the drug dealer. Obama sent people to the to his funeral, and there was all kinds of all kinds of mess. He ran from the cops, and they accused the cops of a rough ride.
What's wrong with the blacks?
And that
no, but most
terrible. So this black activist female woman, convicted of perjury and mortgage fraud, supposed to do prison time, but not because a black female Obama-appointed and Biden-appointed judge, Lydia K. Grigsby, ruled that she would have to forfeit her condo and 90% of the proceeds and no jail time. Just home confinement and 3 years probation or whatever.
So the blacks are looking out for the blacks. At least the liberal black females are looking out for the liberal black females.
Yeah.
That's her?
That's the judge.
Uh-huh. She looks like somebody's mama.
This judge was like, there's no indication that you abused your office as state's attorney. This black female judge. The conduct is not violent. Most significantly is you are a mother to 2 daughters.
That's significant.
And that's how she sounded, too, when she spoke.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm kidding. I made that part up. But she said...
Oh, you made it up.
But this quote is direct quote from this woman, according to CBS.
So now the blacks screwed up the justice system.
Yeah.
They mess up everything we get. I bet you there's been a white woman or conservative woman or white man, she'd be under the jail.
Indeed.
No matter how many children she had.
The prosecutors wanted 20 months in prison, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Mosby's lawyers just wanted probation. And the sentencing guidelines call for incarceration between a year and a year and a half. So she must have done something really bad for them to want more than a year and a half.
So now we're not going to be able to get... The court system is over now. We can't even get a normal juror to sit because they're going to be so biased.
Yeah, I know. And what was so wild about this story is, or just typical of the blacks, you can check out this. All these blacks chanting behind her, getting behind her, supporting her, and she's thanking them. And she put her daughters on the mic, having a press conference fresh out of court, and her little daughters, like underage, talking about justice, and I want to be like my mom. And she's the woman's quoting the Bible in this in this clip, 24:1D.
But before we play that, let me just repeat what you just said. I'm just looking at it. No, I'm looking at it a second time. So the prosecutors wanted this woman in prison for at least 20 months?
Yep, 20 months.
But she gonna get home probation now?
Yep.
Because it's stupid black judge?
Yep. Terrible. And so they're cheering, even though this woman is a convicted criminal, a liar, a mortgage fraud person, and she has to surrender her home. The home the condo.
Wow.
That she bought. Florida condo, by the way.
So here is the sound.
This is a Baltimore woman, Florida condo. Here's the soundbite.
Okay.
From local CBS.
Which one we playing?
21D.
And what's this about?
This shows, you can see Benjamin Crump, the Black Lives Matter lawyer.
Oh, Lord.
Chanting behind her, pumping his fist, and then her and her daughters talking.
Watch this.
Justice for Maryland! Justice for Maryland!
Thank you to everyone who supported my mom. We are so grateful for everyone who signed the petition for President Biden to pardon my mom.
My name is Marilyn Mosby, and I want to thank all of you, friends, family, and the city of Baltimore, and the entire country for showing up for my mom.
Oh,
and her
Lord.
fight for justice has inspired me to become a prosecutor.
Oh, Jesus, not another one. Yeah, right.
Justice for Marilyn Mosby is justice for all of us.
Yes,
They screwed up another generation of black. Who are the us? There is no
Proverbs
us.
3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Oh,
Lean
not
not
the
on your
Bible.
own understanding. Submit to him in all of your ways, and he will make your path straight. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for the fight. Thank you to everyone who signed that petition.
Oh, Jesus.
I swear God
Those tears are
sent
fake.
angels into my life
Those are fake.
to see me.
Oh, just for
when
the
I felt
thrill.
like I wasn't being seen. And I'm just so grateful to each and every one of you, to the 14 civil rights organizations that have signed on to that pardon.
No such thing.
Urban League, NAACP, Win with Black Women, my brother Ben Crump.
Oh, yeah, right.
We love you. Reverend Slade, thank you.
We love you, sister.
This is not over.
Right. That's right.
But God was here today, and I know He's with me.
Yeah. Always.
He
Oh,
touched
God.
the heart of this judge and has
God,
allowed
I
me
ain't
to go
gotta do
home to
that.
my babies. From the bottom of my heart.
This one, she wants a presidential pardon from Biden.
She does?
Uh-huh.
He already got pardoned. Now she's going to be doing sitting up at home. What the?
So
that's better than a pardon.
One more quick little black display.
Okay.
This is Benjamin Crump, the Black Lives Matter lawyer, ambulance chaser. He tweeted out this video that somebody took of him and her. He's holding up her hand. There's a whole bunch of blacks coming down the escalator, I guess in the court building, acting like she won something when she got off easy.
Of course.
Clip E.
This is from local. This is from Attorney Crump.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. This is after she now got off and gonna stay home.
That's for all the haters, the enemies of equality.
Oh, Lord. And she looking all...
Out of it, like half asleep.
Like she all humble.
Oh, yeah. Fake humble.
Hey. What? It's over.
Don't the blacks just look ridiculous?
I can't even... I want the blacks to go back to the good old days before the civil rights movement, and all this mess was not happening.
Yeah.
I wish you could have seen that that little history about the blacks with Jesse Waters yesterday.
Oh.
And it was before the civil rights movement mess and all that, when the black was normal. It was deep.
Nice.
It was the good old days. They showed the guy from Tuskegee Institute and the guy who invented something else and something else and something else. It was so deep.
Well, you see normal individual blacks, you just don't see them in numbers at all.
So you're saying Joel is a normal black?
I didn't say Joel.
Oh.
He's not even that black.
Somebody asked me yesterday, was Joel white?
30% white. He's a dark-skinned white.
I think he Creole.
Yeah.
I don't think he white.
True.
I think he a Creole.
That is true. So I just wanted to show that because that's
it's over for the court system.
Like there's no, after seeing something like that, like there's no comparison to, oh, blacks and whites act just the same.
No, it's not. No comparison.
Yeah.
Zero comparison. I like that shirt, by the way. It look good on you.
Sorry.
I love it. All thoughts, all live shirt.
Nice. Hey.
It's so.
I'm not sure. It seems when I say easier to say call myself a sinner, I'm saying that it's easier to like wrap my mind around that.
Which is easy for you to call yourself a sinner or to accept that all your sins have been wiped away? Hake.
Well, it feels like I'm maybe more used to calling myself a sinner or something like that.
Which is easier to
I don't know.
Accept that all your sins have been washed away or to call yourself a sinner?
Easier is a hard word because
I was having trouble
easier
too.
is what I'm.
I was having the same trouble.
It's easy to say I'm a sinner because everybody says that, right? And then it's it feels like a relief to say all my sins are washed away. But so I don't know.
Gerald Friday, which is easier, to call yourself a sinner or to accept that all your sins have been wiped away?
It's easier to call myself a sinner, even though none of us here do, right?
Do what?
None of us call ourselves sinners.
None of us call ourselves sinners. But it's easier to call yourself a sinner than to say is because we've been.
No, we talk about you, not we.
Okay,
not
me.
yourself.
You know this.
You. Which is easier for you to accept, to call yourself a sinner, or to accept that all your sins have been wiped away?
It's easier to call myself a sinner because all my life I've been taught to have faith in wrongdoing and sins, right? Put my belief in that and not into the belief that I'm actually free and that doesn't exist.
So it's easier to call yourself a sinner
Right.
than to accept that all your sins have been wiped away?
Then to accept that, right? Because I've never been taught that or told that or even know what that taught to even know what that really means.
How about you, Hassan? Which is easier, to call yourself a sinner or to accept that all your sins have been wiped away?
Well, I want to say real quick that there's this basketball player, he's retired, but his name is Manu Ginobili. And every game he would do something that would blow my mind. He would throw a pass that I had never seen before or something. And it's like every day on the show, you say something or present some sort of thing that is just so mind-blowing that it's amazing that I've never thought of it. So anyway.
I understand.
But
thank you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely easier to say that my sins have been washed away. But like Joel said, it's never even been presented to me to think of that in that way. But 100%.
So it's easier to call yourself a sinner or to accept that all your sins have been wiped away?
To accept that all my sins have been washed away.
It's easier to accept that all your sins have been wiped away?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing. How about you, Sean? Which is easier, to call yourself a sinner or to accept that all your sins have been wiped away?
I've never experienced either of those things, so I can't answer.
Oh, I forgot. You're not a Christian.
Yeah, the word sinner or sin is not something that enters my head. Like throughout the day, throughout my life, I never think about sin. So I've never experienced either of those things.
You never experienced what thing?
Thinking about sin in any way, or sinner,
really?
or calling myself a sinner. Or...
So you think you like Jesus?
No, I mean...
No, I'm playing.
I heard 2 terms yesterday. I have 3 terms that I think people should use more often. The first, I don't know if you've heard this, awfuls, like the awfuls. Affluent, white, female, urban liberals.
Oh.
The awfuls. So
Okay.
that's what we're going to call them from now on.
Right.
Also, You know how like motherly love isn't love,
Right.
Right. So we're gonna call that smotherly love.
All right.
Okay.
Amazing.
And then obviously dark skin whites instead of light skin darks. So
Nice.
3 terms that we're gonna start making popular. Now.
Nice.